Hey guys, Jeff Tate with Estate Construction. We're here in Cripple Creek. We've got Blake Vandersteck here. Blake's our VP of Construction, so he's over all of our construction team. All of our project managers does a fantastic job leading them. He's been managing this project for us. So Blake, give us an update on what's been going on here at this house.
Yeah, hey guys, since our last update, we've got a lot of things done on the house. We got shingles, roofing all on. There's some metal roof on the back as well that you can't see, but that's finished. We framed this porch. You can also see we've got windows in now as well and exterior starting, so a lot's been done.
One thing we want to talk through is this porch cap. So here in Utah, outside the building envelope, this is all underground. You'll see underneath here. But inside of this room, usually we frame up the bottoms of these and just pour the porch cap on top of framing in that. But it's a little different. Blake, why don't you walk us through how we came up with this porch cap and how we did it?
Our floor trusses on this house were a little bit taller, and we weren't necessarily allowed to pour just a super thick piece of concrete. So right here, underneath this concrete, we have kind of structural concrete, hollow core concrete that you could technically drive a car on this porch and it would hold it. It's what people do over their garages to get space underneath. We use that to bring it up, and then we poured this porch cap on top of that. Sometimes you have things that come up where you got to kind of figure out solutions to that, and that's one of these spaces we had to do that in order to bring the porch cap up to where the house was.
One big update from last time is the windows that we got going in. Most of them are installed. These are beautiful windows from Sonic. We love doing work with them. One thing that's awesome is when you have all the windows show up, they're all the right sizes, and we're not missing any. Blake, what goes into that and making sure we get all the windows showing up the right sizes?
As a project manager, which I'm fortunate enough to be on this house, but also as lead of construction, we talk about our PMs. Windows take a long time to order, right? They've got to be made, they've got to be shipped. And so we go through a whole process of counting them through the house and making sure rough openings are the right size. There's a certain clearance we got to have on the sides for those windows to fit in and then be attached. Before we're even possibly framing, we're talking about how many windows, what sizes, possibly even getting those ordered. By the time framing comes around, we know exactly what windows we're putting in. When they ship, we're throwing them right in and we're getting this house dried in so no weather's getting in.
We're in the primary suite. A couple of things I'm noticing about this area. You've got a bunch of blocking up here in the ceiling. What is that all for?
This also goes kind of into the bones of the framing and the build. Things you got to watch out for is we're going to have a couple beams going across in this primary suite. And in order for those beams to be attached, we got to have some blocking. And so we kind of go over with our finished carpenter early on in the process where those beams are going to attach to and how they need to attach. That's something that once you cover with drywall, you'll never see, but it's super important to have there for the structure of those beams.
The other thing I'm noticing here, we've got some orange lines up here going through certain size houses. I guess we can talk about that. Like, what are these orange lines that we're seeing and why do we have to do those in this house?
With the city we're building this house in, they have a requirement over a certain square footage. We need to include fire suppression, which just means fire sprinklers, so that if something did happen, they'll come on and help with extinguishing a fire in a house. Another thing with these fire suppression sprinklers is the fire suppression guys have to have inspections, right? We have inspections for a house. They don't necessarily go through the building department. They have to go through the fire marshal. Fire marshals can be per city, they can be per county, per state. But they'll set up their own inspections to come get the pressure testing on them, right? It's pretty much indoor sprinklers. And so they'll pressure test them to make sure they're holding pressure and that no fittings are loose. And once they get those inspections done, we can cover this up and feel good about the process. Another important thing we'll have to do on homes is blocking. Blocking is, as you see here, we're just pretty much throwing wood in between studs, right? You're almost making the wall entirely solid. So that's what blocking is. If you hear the term blocking or backing, it's making an area solid. So you can mount anywhere within that space, you can see here, and you're not gonna miss a stud, and you're not just gonna run into just space behind those studs. We do blocking for like TVs, shower glass, and here in this basketball court area inside, we do blocking for a basketball hoop. Obviously there's gonna be a full basketball hoop here, and in order to mount that and have it secure, we put blocking in so we can lag bolts into that. So when the homeowner's throwing down dunks, it's not gonna come off the wall. We'll never end up seeing this blocking, but it's an important part of the structure of the home so that things are done properly and secured to the wall properly. So here we have a really cool feature that is never going to be seen, but it's a radon mitigation system. So throughout this whole floor, we have a pipe that goes through underneath the concrete slab, and radon is a naturally occurring gas. And when it's bottled up or contained in a certain area, it can be dangerous. So what that does is it will take all that gas in that pipe, take it up here, and we have a fan at the very top that will kick on, and it will kick that radon out. Radon's naturally occurring. It happens everywhere, but when you're outside, it can dissipate. So it's not necessarily dangerous outside. But in a home, we like to think ahead. And so before we poured this basement slab, this basketball court slab, we put this system in order to mitigate that radon. So with radon, this is something you can do after the fact, after your home is built, if you do have a buildup of radon. A lot of people who buy existing homes have to go in and drill into their floor and create one of these systems. What we like to do here, we like to think ahead and plan ahead because it saves us money, it saves us time to do it ahead of time. So that's why we've done it pre-concrete slab, and we've already got the system in place so we don't have to do it after this house is done.
That's your update for today at Cripple Creek. Blake, thanks for showing us around. If you're ready to start your build, check us out at estateconstruction.com.